Welcome to Friday. Later on today, details of a top NXT star that has ditched a really popular part of their gimmick. We'll talk about that later, but for now, here's your wrestling news. WWE make multiple releases and more are reportedly coming. Plans for NXT UK tapings have been revealed, and an AEW star confirms an injury. We'll talk about that in a bit. We start with the news of a long-standing WWE employee parting ways with the company. Gerald Brisco took to Twitter to announce that after 36 years, Vince McMahon made the phone call to say that his services were no longer required. Gerald Brisco has said that he's okay with this. He says that there may be things that he can do down the line, but in terms of his day-to-day duties, that is the end of things. And he says more will follow and says thank you. End of an era for Gerald Brisco leaving the company. He was one of the people that sold his shares in Georgia Championship Wrestling to Vince McMahon, very much on the ground floor of the birth of sports entertainment, if you will. He retired from wrestling in '85 and ended up working as a road agent and a booker for the then WWF. He became the right-hand man of Vince McMahon as well. This is something that decided to play out on television as well, as we saw the rise of the Stooges, Pat Patterson and Gerald Brisco in the late 90s. This would lead to Gerald Brisco becoming the hardcore champion for a while in 2000, and it would see the return of Gerald Brisco as 24/7 champion fairly recently, because that was a thing that happened. End of an era seeing Gerald Brisco leave the company, but as he says at the end of his tweet, there's possibly more, maybe something more he can do down the road, but for now, best wishes to Gerald Brisco. Many have spoken with great love for Gerald Brisco on Twitter. William Regal saying there aren't enough words to thank you for all of your unselfish help, guidance, knowledge, and most of all, friendship you've given me. When I was at my lowest point in my life 21 years ago, you were constantly there for me. Thank you, my friend. Michael P.S. Hayes tweeting, thanks Gerald for all the great times. I hope there are a few more remaining. Most importantly, thanks for all your help over the years and what you and Jack did for the Freebirds. And Adam Pearce, who we've seen a lot of on WWE TV at the moment, says, simply put, Gerald Brisco changed my life. Many will say the same, and I believe it. I call him my wrestling dad because that's how he treats me, and he never had to. My gratitude is unending, and in fact it grows as I do. You are a Hall of Famer in every sense of the word, Dad. That's a lovely message from Adam Pearce. Lots of people sending lots of love to Gerald Brisco as he leaves WWE today. He's not the only one who's been let go from the company. Mike Rotunda, who you'll know as Erwin R. Shyster, the father of Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, has also been released from the company. Now, he, like Gerald Brisco, was furloughed back in April. And there were possibly plans to bring more of these people back around about now, as there was hopes the company would get up and running. But this has led to the end of the deal between IRS and WWE, which sees Mike leaving the company as well. Mike also has been with the WWE as a road agent since 2006. He only retired properly in 2004. I know, right? He was still wrestling fairly regularly until 2004, it seems. So end of an era there as well. There are more reported releases coming soon. And again, this is due to a lot of people backstage that were furloughed back in April, and the plans going forward for the company at this stage during the pandemic. This is going to be something that may not necessarily affect what you see on screen, i.e. this might not be another case of mass layoffs of superstars from Raw and SmackDown and NXT. This is more a restructuring, as they will call it, of backstage. So like live event and logistics departments and such will see a lot of pullbacks simply because they're departments that right now and for the foreseeable aren't needed. So more of those to come, and obviously we will keep you up to date with everything happening around that at cultaholic.com. Some big news for AEW as it pertains to the ratings. Celebrating a milestone moment, AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday went over 1 million viewers. The first time that AEW has done that since October last year. A phenomenal number pulled in by AEW. Showbuzz Daily announced that the average was 1.016 million viewers, the highest since October the 9th, 2019. The show the week after that only drew just a touch under that, so they're really back in strong territory as they're coming up to the 1 year anniversary. Young Bucks celebrated this on Twitter. They shared a tweet which saw a bit of mockery of NXT, a bit of elbow in the ribs to NXT. It was that video of Alex Marvez getting a super kick by the Bucks, but they put the NXT logo over Marvez's head. See what you did there. NXT had their ratings come through for Tuesday as well, and it's a touchdown on the week before, so going against that upward trend of being unopposed was NXT. This is a really strong day for AEW, and one that I'm sure fans will be celebrating. They're probably celebrating in the comments right now. When it comes to NXT's British brother, NXT UK gets underway again next week, and we have details of what is on offer from NXT next week. So, they made some announcements yesterday about some matches and a big tournament. We'll talk about the tournament in just a second, but let's talk about some of the title matches coming up. Kaylee Ray going to be defending her NXT UK Women's Championship against Piper Niven in 2 weeks' time. These two have been at loggerheads since Kaylee Ray ended the championship dreams of Toni Storm in that I Quit match before everything shut down. We'll see Gallus defending the tag team titles against Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan next week. Volta is set to defend the NXT UK Championship against Ilya Dragunov. Now, we don't know the date of that match, but I'm excited for that. These two have had barn burners before. Give them time, give them the room, they can have some fun with that. So a lot of championship collisions set for the return of NXT UK and the introduction of another championship as the NXT UK Heritage Tournament was announced on last night's show. So what is the Heritage Tournament? Well, they're kicking it old school on NXT UK. This is going to be a British rounds system tournament. So this means each round in the tournament will feature 6 3-minute rounds with 20-second breaks between rounds, and it'll be 2 out of 3 falls overall. So whoever is leading after those 6 rounds wins the match. Disqualifications and knockouts end the match completely. So proper old school stuff here. We know that Flash Morgan Webster, Noam Dar, Alexander Wolf, A-Kid, Dave Mastiff, Joseph Connors and Trent Seven will all be a part of the tournament, and whoever wins the tournament will have the NXT UK Heritage Cup, and it'll be defended as a championship on NXT UK television under the same rules. I'm really up for this, and the moment this was announced, there was quite a bit of kickback for this. The idea that these matches are a bit slow and a bit tired and a bit old and a bit dull, and I'm going to be the better obscure company. You know how I roll by now. You know I try and put a positive spin on everything. I'm up for this. It's good to have NXT UK have something that is uniquely theirs. I think for a while it just kind of, the issue that NXT UK has is a bit of a lack of identity. And I think even having this sort of old school British rounds flavour gives it that bit of identity. These matches can also be fun in a modern context. Cassius Ohno, who I'm gutted is gone from the company. He was somebody that has showcased, not just in NXT UK, but in independent shows, like how you can make that round system really work for you if you've got the right attitude and the right aptitude about it as well. And also, right, from a television point of view, if you're going to take like a whole bunch of shows for NXT UK in a short amount of time, a rounds-based tournament is going to easily take up a lot of those time. Each of these matches are going to be like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. That's half an NXT UK show. So if you're going to be bulking out tapings over the next couple of months, it's not a bad way to do it, to be honest, from that logistical point of view. I'm up for it. I'm intrigued to see how it goes. Look, I'd always rather be happy than right. If we watch it next week and it all goes horribly wrong and it's a bit crap, I don't mind talking about it being a bit crap. I'm happy to see what happens, though. And finally, Hybrid 2. Lots to love about Angelico and Jack Evans in AEW. Big fan of their work. They've done a bit of tag teaming in 2020, but certainly nowhere near as much as other people have been tag teaming. We've seen some singles action from Jack Evans. We've seen some singles action from Angelico. In fact, this past Wednesday, Angelico was in action against Orange Cassidy with Evans at ringside. So what's the deal there? So why isn't there much laser focus on Hybrid 2 right now. Some fans were concerned and took to Twitter to ask if maybe there was some heat between management of AEW and Jack Evans and Angelico. And Jack Evans responded with reassurance that there was no heat. However, he is not in a position to wrestle right now, tweeting that he has suffered a hairline fracture in his left cheekbone and he is waiting for the all clear to properly return. So we may not see Jack Evans wrestling on AEW TV for a couple of weeks for this case. I'm not a doctor. I ain't a doctor. But I'm hoping that when he's in a position where he can wrestle, that they really give these guys like the green light just to go. Because in a really busy tag division in AEW, I'm a big fan of what Hybrid 2 can offer. Both are really solid work, and I'd love to see them mixing it up with guys like FTR very soon. That'd be a bit cool. Big fan of that. That's your wrestling news for today. I'm back a little bit later with even more wrestling news. In fact, I'll just wait here until then. I mean, you can go about your business. You can go and do whatever you need to do some paperwork, I don't know, call someone you love and tell them how much they mean to you. I don't know, do what you like. I'll just wait here. Actually, I'll go get a drink. It's all right. By the time you're back, I'll be back. I'll go get a drink. Love you, bye.